Howdy. Welcome back to another episode of the Unknown Secrets of Internet Marketing, the best SEO podcast. My name is Matt Bertram. I'm your host for today. Got a great topic. Today is, are SEO plugins even helpful? So had a debate with probably a 15-year SEO the other day, and we were talking about it. So that's what we're going to get into. Before we get into the meat, let me talk a little bit about the potatoes. So I've been having a lot of calls through the office hours. I appreciate everybody reaching out. I have done some or started to do some agency coaching, and that is going well. And I got a lot of requests actually from small business owners that may not, maybe they want to do DIY. I guess you want to do DIY SEO. You found this podcast. You want to rank your site. You want to get better. You're hearing some of these things, and then they're hard to kind of like, how do I execute that? I would love to see some visuals. I would love to see some walkthroughs, maybe whiteboard session. I have specific questions. That's when we develop the profit plan, or it's private consulting on the EWR site. And we get into it with you, help understand where you're at, what you're trying to do, where you're going. I just did a profit plan today. Actually, I did two. And both are interested in a small business coaching program. So I think that might be something that we're going to roll out. Also, thank you for the review. I don't have it in front of me, but I will read it next time. So thank you for leaving a review. We are running a review campaign on a number of different platforms. So I would love for you to support the podcast by buying a profit plan, by leaving a review, letting me know that there's value in this. So awesome. So we'll jump into it, and I'll kind of get into my story that spurred this. Are SEO plugins even helpful? So I was having this debate, not a debate, but I had hired a guy that used to work for us a while ago to come back on. A lot of people have a lot of different SEO experience. There are guidelines, but everybody does it a little bit different. There's a lot of, I guess, viewpoints on what works, what doesn't, because it's, no one knows exactly the formula, although you can look at some of the IP, but you usually kind of try something, have kind of a variable that's static, and then compare it against it and see what works. Right. And not a lot of people are doing this anymore. We've been doing a lot of it internally, and I really need to post some of this stuff and get that out there to you. Hopefully these groups, maybe private Facebook group, will force me to really start sharing that information, because we got it pretty dialed in. I mean, there's been a lot of changes over the last 36 months, but we have it pretty dialed in on how to rank you in the maps, how to rank you organically. You need to be in the top 3 positions if you're going to rank, period. Okay. If you're not in the top 3 positions, it's like not even worth it to do SEO. So you got to be better than everybody else. How do you do that? There is a methodology that works. And guess what? It's not a secret. Everything we're doing goes back to the beginning and the fundamentals. Now, certainly weightings change. There's some specific things, but, and guess what? That's actually where the foundations of the SEO plugins come from. There's some best practices, maybe industry best practices that people have created, and they put them in their own little algorithm that spiders your site, or audits your site and tells you what they think you should do based upon maybe like a target keyword, for example. So I was talking to this 15-year SEO guy, and there's a number of sites that are pretty complex that I was doing the SEO myself on. Okay. And, when you're getting into language tags and, like multi country stuff, like it gets kind of complex. So I had, I guess, reached out to this consultant. Hey, come on. I have some work for you. I'm getting a little overloaded. Let's try that again. So we started that conversation. Got him working on the site, and then we were reviewing it. Hey, how's it going? What are you doing? We had worked together before. What are the steps? Where are you at? I give him our steps. Like, here's really what I want you to do. We found this to work well. And then, he came back, well, I got my own strategy, and we started talking about it. And he goes, hey, Matt, none of the keywords were in. We use rank math. You can talk about Yoast. I'll go through those in a bit. But he's like, none of the keywords were in there. And I said, yeah, I don't really use the SEO plugins for SEO. And he's like, what are you talking about? His goal or what he does is he optimizes it to as best he can to 100%. You can run these little audits internally. Okay, well, let's talk about that, right? I'm almost to the point of like getting rid of the plugins. Now there are some great features. Okay. Yoast, Rank Math. What do they do? Right. You can time the search console so you can see the data when you log in. Great. Right. It auto generates sitemaps. Great. You can do schema. Fantastic. You can do breadcrumbs. Fantastic. You can add keywords in there and you can do keyword tracking in there. Okay. Very cool. Well, what is the cost of all this stuff, right? And there's more stuff, okay? Like um it'll help you guide like what pages maybe you should link to based on this keyword, things maybe you should include, how long the SEO description should be. Like it gives you like a framework that you should follow, okay? Um and I don't know where these rules came from. I don't know how they made them up. Like, you know, I can tell you, having your SEO description a certain length, I'm not sure exactly where that came from. I can tell you that I've found that longer SEO descriptions work quite a bit better because you can be more descriptive. The search engine understands what you're doing. I think okay, things are changing with semantic search. So again, right, this debate. Um, I I know what I'm trying to optimize for when I look at the website. If you're not, they're kind of like training wheels. They help you, but they weigh down the site. There's a cost to all this stuff. We did move away from Yoast. I think Yoast Premium, great, whatever. Uh, Gold standard, everything like that. It was just really heavy. And the more things you can remove, even the Facebook pixel, if you're not doing Facebook retargeting, slows down your site on the calls. Like you want your site lightning fast. And if you're using a framework on the back end, you're slowing it down. So I can tell you there's a lot of things you can do to speed up your site. And if you're not using these plugins to the maximum ability, consider not using them. Consider having maybe 5 plugins or 10 plugins max. Okay. You myself again. Okay, there we go. I don't know. Internet kind of waffy right now, but I don't know. Um, I don't I don't know where I lost my train of thought. um, Look, these plugins, I'm not sure, but we had this debate about putting the keyword in there. And there was even a Yoast plugin a long time ago. They were talking about what was it? Meta keywords, right? Bing thinks they're spam, and Bing's not very forgiving. Okay, Google's a little more forgiving. They do algorithmic penalties, then they do you get outside the standard deviation, they do the manual review. You can kind of walk it back if you over optimize, right? And you got to be careful over optimizing for a word. But okay, so putting that keyword in there, I don't know if it pushes it through to the meta keyword spot. It used to give the search engines a lot of good direction on what that page is about, but people have like over optimized and spammed it. And so now Google says, hey, I don't even look at that. And that's like a Yoast article. So what we're saying is putting, and look, Google is following no follow links now too, right? So maybe, but putting a keyword in the keyword target for the page to be able to run the little their own algorithm to tell you what you should do on the site. He's telling me by putting that keyword in there, it it makes the page rank better. I think it gives you direction on what you need to do, but I don't think it makes it rank better. And I could be totally wrong. And if you have some data out there that says I am completely wrong, please share it with me because I do not know everything. I just don't use it. I know what I'm trying to optimize for. I know what's going on with the page. I have a different process to look at the page using off-page tools, and then I optimize accordingly. So I'm using these plugins less and less and less. Um, Yeah, maybe this is a product review. Um, what else can I tell you? So I have this article here that I would love to continue to follow the format of articles. And it's, let me pull it over. It's called, it's by WordPress. It's in the tutorial section, and it's, do you need to use SEO plugins for your WordPress website? So I thought that was kind of appropriate, right? And I love the lead in here. It says, search engine optimization, SEO, is the cornerstone of successful websites. Great websites can leverage search engines like Google to get hundreds or thousands of users to visit your site. All you need are the right tools. Fortunately, WordPress.com comes with many built in features that help you optimize your site, such as automatic sitemaps, on page SEO tools. These will be sufficient for some users. At the same time, using an SEO plugin can also help you identify which aspects of your website you need to improve and take steps on. In this article, we'll talk about the basics of SEO, what the tools of WordPress.com offer, and how to optimize your content. La, 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 la. Okay. So I'm going to kind of just go with the headers, right? Um, what are the basics of SEO? I think everybody here probably know the basics to SEO. Some of the things they highlight, user experience, everything's on mobile, SSL certificates, write great titles, meta description, tags, links, internal links, external links. Got to do a lot of uh, podcasts on linking and link equity. Huge opportunity there. Uh, Videos or supporting meta videos, images, other types of media to engage, widgets, all that sort of thing. Right. Really important. Then they go into keyword research, which we've talked about extensively. How WordPress helps you tackle with the 4 key features. So talks about the automatic sitemaps again. Like, hey, if WordPress is doing it for you, and again, WordPress.org, is this for or WordPress.org or WordPress.com, um, is different than hosting somewhere else. So you can use the WordPress instance or you could use the WordPress site. Okay. So there's a delineation there. But automatic sitemaps. Sitemaps, super important. If you don't know what a sitemap is, you and this is a debate out there too. We could do a podcast about this, about crawl, right? Or crawl budget people talk about. You don't really know how much crawl budget you have from the different search engines. They crawl your websites when they want to, and you can kind of send signals to them and say, hey, Kay, could you update this? And when you're on the back end updating your different pages and blogs, you can kind of say, hey, this is what I would rather you look at first, but those spiders are going to do whatever they want. um, and this is where Search Console comes in. It's really, really important. Um, but when you're updating those sitemaps, um, you know, when you update new pages, it's really, really important. So search engine find them. Also, you could have 3 internal links, maybe 1, 2 external links, always good for other ways for people or the spiders, I guess, to come into your website and find that particular page. And then again, your content needs to be organized in a way that they understand it. Even on your sitemap page, if there's a lot of like stuff that is not super relevant, might want to include limiting that, because the spiders are going to go everywhere and they're not going to go where you want them to go. So you can try to direct them, but again, they're going to do what they want. SSL certificates. Hey, it's kind of almost required. There's a lot of big sites out there that don't have it. Some of the old sites are a mess. Some of them are secured. Some are not secured. But what you don't want is that big old warning to pop up and say, hey, this is an unsecured site. Do you want to proceed? Because you're going to lose a lot of traffic. I think it's just really standard to have an SSL certificate across the board. So not going to go into that too much. Okay, on-page tools. On-page tools, there's tons of awesome on-page tools. There's tons of third-party on-page tools. So think about it. You have to use resources for uh, these tools to run these reports, to have access to this data. It's going to slow down your performance. Um, so if you can get the insights that you want um, off page, I would encourage you to do that and not have that code on the site weighing it down. Also, once you really start understanding what you're looking for, maybe you use some of these things as a checklist more, but it's like riding a bike. Like, you don't need training wheels all the time, in my opinion. If you're doing it a lot, again, if you're a small business owner and that's not your core business, but if you're a digital marketer at some point, like you should know what you're looking for. Um, and there's a little bit of art to this because we don't know, like we know that there's one keyword combination for every well, there's one algorithm that's a perfect keyword combination for one word to rank perfect score, right? We're trying to get as close to that perfect score as possible, or we're trying to kind of shotgun effect, try to rank for as many words as possible per page without deviating too much or doing anything where we're over optimizing for it. But, the more a bang for a buck we can get out of one page so we don't have to create another page for that intent or for that keyword is really helpful. And we want to stay away from kind of spammy strategies, right? But golly, there is a perfect formula for every single keyword in a different space. So, um, it's really hard to say, oh, this SEO is perfect, right? That for what exact combination, we don't even know that. And then if you change a few words, add a few words, you could dramatically change your rankings and your results. Also, how people are interacting with your site. There's outside influences. If you're doing PR, if more people are searching for your site, or something's hot in trends. Like there's a lot of things that go into this. But again, yeah, there's some fundamentals that you want to look for. All right, Google Analytics. Yeah, soapbox. I hate GA4. I don't know if any of you out there really like GA4. I'm not seeing a lot of good use from it. I'm looking for other options. Old Google Analytics, I thought it was pretty good. I just feel like they're not showing you a lot of data. They're taking away attribution. I just don't see what's going on with the site. There's a lot of other good options out there. I think some of these other platforms, I think like HubSpot, for example, you can start getting a lot better idea what people are going on, and if you have their information where they're going. There's good stuff like that. There's like SEO Clarity and what is it? Lucky Orange and Hotjar and Crazy Egg that can show you what the sessions are and what people are doing on the site. And there's a lot of bolt-on analytics you can get. And analytics is going to be customized for you on what you need. Sometimes it's information overload. Sometimes the information is not helpful. When we work with clients, we figure out what they're looking for, what their KPIs are, and we try to really streamline it and clean it up. There's certain things that we look at in-house, and then there's things that the clients need to see. But I can tell you almost none of our clients get the exact same report. We've tried many times to standardize it, and it just seems like everybody's coming from a different angle. And so we try to tailor that to you. Okay, let's see. Do you need to use SEO plugins with WordPress.com? Um, what do they say? What did they say? Huh. Doesn't really give me a definitive answer. Um, Hopefully, from this podcast, you've kind of made up some of your own conclusions. It depends where you're at in your your understanding of this. Um, I think that some of these paid plugins could get really expensive per site if you're managing a lot of sites. Um, it's a trade-off, right? You're trading off performance for some direction. Some of these things just have too much stuff involved. I like to keep the code kind of clean. So yeah, my opinion is you don't need them. I don't think that you need them. I think they're helpful. But I think once you really understand what you're looking for, you can look at the page and go, what am I trying to do here? Okay, what do I need to do? And also, many times I'll come back to a page based on a different campaign or a different strategy or how the page is performing and say, I need to make some changes to this to optimize this better for XYZ, right? And there's different reasons that people are searching for this or that, etc. And that's all I got for you today. I'm going to try to keep these on point and let you know what I think you need to know. Nothing more, nothing less. Kind of like SEO content. You don't need to build skyscrapers. Okay. You just need to answer the question better than anyone else. Anyways, um, Yeah. So if you're interested in a small business training program, we're going to roll that into a course down the road. If you don't want to pay for that, or you don't need something customized to do, if you'd like to connect with us, with me, hey, reach out to us if you want to support the podcast. Um, hey, buy a session. Let's hang out and talk, and let's get to know. Tell me what's going on with you. I'd love to connect. Um, you know, uh, this is something I try to get done every week or every other week. I take time out of my day to try to share this. Hopefully, you get value out of it. It really started as internal training for our team, and then we decided to share it. So that's, you're getting a piece of what's happening. Uh, and I think that in-person training and the whiteboard sessions and everything would put it all together for you. So we are going to be rolling that out. We are doing some agency training. I got kids that are trying to get in my door right now. So until the next time, my name's Matt Bertram. Bye bye for now.